What is going on, YouTube? It's Tyler from Mission VR, where it's my mission to bring you guys good quality VR content. Listen, CES just finished up, and we definitely got a ton of VR hardware related news. Lots of new VR headsets coming out this year. Big year for virtual reality all around, and I definitely want to talk about, really the headsets I'm most excited for and the headsets I think are probably not worth your time, just based on my knowledge of VR and the headsets that I've had the pleasure of using, what I think is gonna be an upgrade, what I think is gonna be a waste of time, what I think is too much money, all that stuff. We're gonna rank all the upcoming headsets that are coming out this year, so make sure you guys stay tuned for that. Also, guys, please do drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel. I'm bringing a ton of VR content, everything from news to reviews, and I do appreciate when you guys go ahead and leave comments on these videos. So definitely leave a comment on this one. I want to hear what you guys think. Is there a headset that I've ranked too low on the list? Is there a headset that you're really excited for? I want to hear it all. Leave those in the comment section below, as well as check out my Amazon storefront in the description below. If you're looking for any Quest 2 accessories, I got everything from head straps to controller straps on there. And a lot of that stuff is really good if you have a Quest 2 and you don't have any accessories. So make sure you check that out. And without further ado, let's go ahead and rank all these headsets coming out this year. Okay, so with ranking VR headsets, we are going to definitely start at what I am the least excited for, because I think there's some VR headsets that were announced at CES and really were shown off that I don't think are going to have a big impact on the VR industry. Maybe technology-wise, I mean, it's always good that we're advancing with technology, but some of these headsets I just don't think are going to really hit the consumers in any way other than, maybe a couple here and there. But I don't think they're going to make any big splashes with these products. And the first one we're going to start with is going to be the Shiftall MeganeX. I think I'm pronouncing that correct. And you're going to see that here on screen and what that actually looks like. It is definitely an interesting looking kind of steampunky style design to it. But at the end of the day, I don't think this headset really has any identity, and that's going to be its biggest problem. It just, for me, the price tag is $1,700 for this thing. Now, of course, it does come, all in one package, but for $1,700, that's a lot. And there is definitely some options that if you're going to spend $1,700 on a VR headset, first of all, if you're spending $1,700 on a VR headset, you likely are playing PC VR. And if you're playing PC VR, this is not the headset that I would be getting for PC VR. I think this is supposed to be like a high-end, standalone version VR headset that's capable of running Steam VR games and stuff, but I just don't think this headset really has any identity. It does have a good resolution to it. It is running micro OLED displays, which, you'll get that sharp contrast. You get pancake lenses. But here's an issue that I have with it. It does have a processor, and it's running on a Snapdragon XR1, which is, for standalone purposes, not as powerful as the XR2 chip is. So I don't know how that remains to be seen yet. I just don't think this headset has an identity. I don't think it fits. It's not really pushing anything. There's no reason to buy this headset over like a Quest Pro if you're going to spend that kind of money. And I still don't even really think the Quest Pro is all that worth it, depending on what you're actually using the headsets for. This headset I just don't think is going to have the backbone that Meta has if you're planning on using it for productivity. I just don't think it's going to be all that good, and that's why this is probably my least ranked headset on this list, as just really headsets I'm not really that excited for, and I don't think it's going to make a big interest. I would definitely put this at a D ranking, effectively making it the lowest ranked headset on this list. So the headset that I want to rank here in the C category of my overall thing, which is, I honestly, for me personally, this one I could have dropped lower, but for the simple fact that this is Apple, I'll bump it up to C. I'm not that excited about this VR headset, and the only reason why is, for me, I'm a VR gamer. Like, for me, it's not about productivity. It's not about anything else other than gaming. I did bump this up a tier just because I think the technology within this headset when it is released is going to help push VR tech forward, which is obviously going to have long-term effects on the gaming industry and make it good. But so far, this headset is rumored to have some pretty, big improvements over what we currently have in VR, with 8K displays, 120-degree field of view, really super lightweight. And I'm sure that Apple's going to deliver on these things, as, we know that Apple has high-end technology at their disposal. There's really, other than that, there's nothing that's really confirmed about this VR headset, other than we do know that it's probably going to be about $3,000, which is a lot. And we do know that Mac does not typically run VR games, or let alone any games games at all. The Mac platform is not really great for running video games, and it's not known for that. So again, that's why this headset really is for me is at a C category, because I just don't know, like, for me, I don't want to pair up a VR headset and be playing, games that I could play on my phone, because those games really aren't going to look that great in VR because they don't look that great on the phone. So again, I'm a gamer first, so that's why this is at the C category for me, because I just don't think it's going to be that crazy for VR gaming, but I do think that it's going to have some positives in the VR industry, and that remains to be seen. I could be completely wrong about this headset, but for me, I'm just not that excited for it. Okay, so we move on up to our B category here, and this is where things start to get a little bit complicated. The Vive XR Elite, we're putting this here in the B category, and this is going to be the only headset in the B category, and I had mixed feelings about even putting it at the B category, because for me, this isn't a headset that I think I would ever pick up, and I'll explain why here in a second. So first and foremost, the base package with the Vive XR Elite, you can get it for $1,099, which is pretty expensive for a quote-unquote standalone headset. Here's my issue with this headset, really. It has some nice things to it. The IPD adjustment looks nice. It's made by HTC. We've been waiting for a true Vive headset, to come out for a little while now. And of course, with them having one of the original forefathers of VR, they're a big company in VR. So I expect them to deliver something that is, pretty decent. But at the end of the day, this headset, I just don't think it really has any improvements over a Meta Quest Pro. If you're willing to spend $1,400 on a Meta Quest Pro, or, over $1,000 on a VR headset, I just don't know why you would maybe pick this up unless you just don't like Meta, which I could completely understand that, and I don't think anybody really likes Meta. The combined resolution for this headset is definitely pretty decent at 3840 by 1920. That's pretty good. I wouldn't say it's anything wildly crazy or anything. I think here's a good thing. 110 field of view is definitely much better than the Quest 2, which is big. That's one of the things that I'm looking for in an upgrade in my next VR headset. 90 hertz refresh rate. Obviously, that's acceptable at this day and age. I mean, most VR headsets should be able to do that. But I think the biggest plus with this headset is really the design. I think the design looks comfortable. It looks lightweight. It looks like something you could wear for a long time, where even like my Meta Quest 2 now, now this is partly because of the the third-party head strap that I have on it. It sometimes is a little bit uncomfortable after wearing it for a couple hours. It's nothing that I can't get over or anything, but this headset definitely looks comfortable, and I think that that's impressive. More than that, it does have the swappable battery into, what are kind of just glasses lenses. I would never really use that. I don't know who would, but whatever. That's an option for it. And I guess you could hot swap batteries, that is nice. So if you're able to hot swap batteries, that would be a big plus with the native pack. Now, you can hook this up to a PC to do PC VR. I would be more interested in that with this headset than anything else. But again, with, if you're willing to spend already $1,100 on a VR headset, there's just better options out there. Even at this point, this would have better resolution than your Valve Index, but you're just going to get some perks with the Valve Index that I don't necessarily think that this headset's going to be able to produce on. I don't think this headset has a true identity, really. I just think that it's lacking some specs to really push this. If this had like a really crazy displays and this headset I think would be really great if it was around $800, maybe even $700. It's still pretty expensive for the average users, but for what it's offering, it's a Meta Quest Pro competitor, and I just don't think it's going to compete against Meta. I think Meta has a better games library than HTC. I mean, HTC is using Steam VR and then their own platform to some extent. And not that that's bad, but I think you're going to get more out of Meta than you would out of this. And it doesn't make sense to purchase this over a Meta Quest Pro unless you're willing to save just a couple $100. But if you're spending this much money, I don't think you're worried that much about a couple $100. So the Vive XR Elite, I don't know, this headset's, it could go either way for me, and that's why I had to put it in the B category, because it really just doesn't have a super big identity, but it also isn't, awful in any stretch of the imagination. I've seen a lot worse headsets come out, with worse things. So I think this headset could maybe do something, and I'm sure some people will maybe pick it up. But again, with the resolution really not being much of an improvement over the Quest, I just don't really see this being something that everybody would flock to and be like, that's the most logical next upgrade for me for VR. Okay, so first up here in the A category, we do have two headsets that are going to be landing here in our A category. And the first one is going to be the Pimax Crystal. This is a headset that I am very excited for. And to be honest for me personally, this would be my highest ranked headset. Not so much this one, actually really the Reality 12K that we don't know much about is their true native PC VR, but apparently this one's also going to be standalone too. But the Reality 12K, from what the specs have been leaked so far on it, that's going to be the cream of the crop when it comes to VR, if Pimax can get their software right, which seems like from CES, all the reports coming out said the Pimax Crystal, the one that they did display there, everything seemed to be running pretty smoothly. Now, the Crystal's a little bit different than the Reality 12K, but at the end of the day, you're still getting a pretty good feel with this headset. Now, you're going to get this for $1,600, which is pretty pricey. But again, when you're looking at what you're getting here, this price tag makes a little bit more sense compared to like the Shiftall MeganeX, when you're just not getting what this headset's providing for the same price, right? This is going to be a standalone headset, which is, offers you the ability to play natively, just on the headset without needing a PC. So that's huge. So if you don't want to even do that and you just want, a high-end PC kind of VR headset without the PC, this would be your option for that. Now, really, where this headset starts to shine is in the actual displays here. Wow, we're getting a lot here. This is going to be a 5,760 pixels horizontal, 2880 pixels vertical, 8K resolution. That is like really, really impressive for a headset. 160 hertz refresh rate. That's bigger than the Valve Index's 144. That's pretty big. There's going to be just a lot going on with this headset that's really awesome. Obviously it supports 6 degrees of freedom tracking, which is really big. It's going to have Wi-Fi 6E modules, so if you want to play PC VR wirelessly, you can. Field of view, diagonal 140 degrees. That's again a huge deal is field of view, and this headset offering a massive field of view increase, I think provides you to get kind of a deeper layer and deeper into the game. Now, the screen is going to be QLED and mini LED, which is fine. Resolution, 2880 by 2880 per eye. That is a massive upgrade over like a Quest 2 now. So if you're looking for more clarity in a bigger field of view and really to step further into the game world, and when it comes to immersion and graphical sense, this headset's going to be able to do it for you. And I think that's why, for me, I'm really excited about the Crystal, and I'm really trying to get my hands on a Crystal. Again, like I said, I really want the 12K, which is like 200 degree field of view, like massive, like 4K screens per eye, right? But I mean, I'm a PC VR enthusiast, so like that's normal for me. But for the average everyday consumer that wants like a really nice high-end VR headset, I think this headset's going to be really great. And the early reports coming out from it are showing that people are really loving it. So I think this is definitely going to be a nice upgrade. You do get the Qualcomm XR2 Gen 1 chip, which is nice. So there's definitely some perks to this. Obviously with fiber optical PC VR support. So this headset is going to kind of offer everything that, a MetaQuest Pro would offer, but I think with much greater specs. So this price tag makes a little bit more sense for me, where the Vive, the Vive one just doesn't really add up for me in making sense price-wise. So our next headset here that's making it into the A ranking here is going to be the Somnium VR1. Now, this is a really interesting VR type of headset, where they're kind of promising open source and fully modular. Now, this headset definitely has what seems to be like the upgraded version of a Valve Index, which I think is pretty exciting. Somnium really hasn't broken into the VR market at all yet, so that's definitely something that's a little bit on the worrisome side of things. But if you look at actually what this headset is promising to provide, one being the company said it retained other 2 core features, open source character and modularity, which I think is something that we haven't really seen in VR yet. The ability to really customize your headset with, certain type of tracking or this or that. And I think that's going to be it. If we just even read this passage here, Somnium VR1 is an open source high-end PC VR headset with high resolution displays, special custom non-Fresnel crystal clear lenses, eye tracking, hand tracking, high resolution pass-through cameras, and a modular design allowing users to change, add, or modify many parts of the headset, which That's pretty cool. We haven't seen that yet. And if we look here at the displays here, we are going to be getting 2880 by 2880 per eye, which is the same as the Pimax Crystal, which is exciting, and a horizontal field of view of 120 degrees, vertical field of view of 100. That's better than a lot of the headsets out there, very similar to the Valve Index. This headset's also going to offer Ultra Leap hand tracking, which I could care less about. It's not a big deal for me. But Wi-Fi 6E, yes, that is wireless PC VR streaming, big, native wired PC VR mode. All this stuff is going to be offered in this headset. Again, custom made head strap, included ear headphones, 3 modular customizable and 3D printable anchor points. There's a bunch of stuff going on with this headset that I think for PC VR enthusiasts definitely could be pretty awesome. And they are promising, I guess, a standalone version at a later date. So there's a lot going on with this headset that I think, both at a point in the A category is just for excitement factors and just to see where this thing goes. I think the overall specs are pretty good already on it. We don't really have any idea of what the price of this is going to be. I would imagine it's probably around that $1,500 range. But the ability for it to be fully customizable and open source adds some characteristics to this that we will see how that overall impacts the VR industry. And that's really why this headset is in the A category. Okay, and we've reached the cream of the crop time. It is time to talk about our S ranking here, the most exciting VR headsets coming out this year. We're going to start with the big one in the room, the MetaQuest 3. We know the MetaQuest 3 is coming out this year, and of course it's in the S category only simply because not so much hardware or technology-wise. I'm sure there's going to be an upgrade, and there's already rumors that there's going to be a decent upgrade over the MetaQuest 2, but simply the fact that this headset is going to be able to be bought for a price that is, much more consumer friendly. And that's really the biggest thing with these headsets is that a lot of them are not consumer friendly. And that's what prevents, the average everyday user from hopping into VR because, not everybody wants to spend $1,500 on, a headset that they're going to use for, they're not even sure they're going to use it as much as like somebody like me. Like I know what VR is, right? I play thousands of hours in VR. Like I'm all right with making that purchase because I'm an enthusiast. But like for somebody who just like plays video games casually, like hangs out, is skeptical about getting into VR, they're not going to spend that kind of money. But with the MetaQuest 3, with it being a substantial upgrade over the MetaQuest 2, I think that's going to be a big help. Now, we know that's going to cost somewhere between $300 and $500, which is going to put it right in line with MetaQuest 2's price, which is a good thing, right? That's always important. Now, here's where things get, good, right? They're expected that the MetaQuest 3 is going to have 120 hertz display refresh rate. Natively, right now the Quest 2 can get to 120 hertz, but it's only on certain apps, so use that sparingly that you can. The Quest 3 is going to have micro OLED displays, and the expected resolution for the Quest 3 overall is 4128 by 2208 pixels or 2064 by 2208 pixels per eye, which is a 30% upgrade over the MetaQuest 2, because the MetaQuest 2's native display is 1920 by 1920, I believe. 1832 by 1920 per eye. So yeah, there's a little bit of an upgrade there for sure. But that I don't even think so much the pixels per eye is the biggest problem with the MetaQuest 2. I think it's more so processing power and just some of those far out ranges, where you get some of that blurriness or that fuzziness that you get. I don't get so much of that with playing on PC VR because I'm able to crank the resolution all the way up. But, when you're playing standalone, you definitely can notice that. So I'm expecting the Quest 3 to have a little bit of an increase in that. As well as they're going to have a massive upgrade with the Qualcomm Snapdragon XR2 Generation 2 chip, which is going to increase performance on it in a massive way. So I think that's going to be huge. I would expect the Quest 3 to have some version of the Pro controllers that are obviously a little bit tailored back so that they could be a little bit more affordable. And, the Quest 3 having all the upgrades that the Quest 2 has had. And I think that what's going to be awesome about the Quest 3, and the reason why I think I'm really excited for it, is because Meta now, as much as I can complain about them, and believe me, I have plenty of complaints that I would like to voice in about Meta, but, the biggest thing for this is that they've been in the VR industry now for enough time with the Quest 2, which was really their first big hit product, because the Quest 1 was great and a lot of people bought it, and the Oculus, CV1 and the Oculus Rift S sure had its purchases. But really, the Quest 2 is what went crazy viral and what they've gotten, a lot of people into VR with. So with that, all their software has been upgraded. They've been actively working on their software. They've been actively working on, all these things. And when the Quest 3 comes out, I would expect them to just kind of pick up with all the improvements that they've made and really just make that headset an amazing headset for VR users and really just push the boundaries of VR forward and get more people into VR. So definitely excited for the Meta Quest 3. And we will see how that goes whenever it releases, probably later this year. Okay, and lastly, our last S-Rank headset this year is the PlayStation VR 2. And the reason why this is absolutely an S-Rank headset this year is because it just has everything and it's affordable. So this is great. So if you are already a console gamer, a PlayStation 5 gamer, this is a big step for you guys. I mean, I'm really excited for you guys to get your hands on a real VR headset, because the PlayStation VR1 was gimmicky at best with the controller setup and the poor resolution and all that stuff. And I mean, it was Sony's first attempt. Now this is big. First things first, display method OLED, panel resolution 2000 by 2040 pixels per eye. This is a really good resolution. This is slightly higher than the Quest 2 resolution. And like I said, playing on PC, I play Quest 2 on PC. I'm telling you right now, I don't have much fuzziness or blurriness at all in most games I play. So I know that this resolution is going to be good enough. And you guys are going to have the power of a PlayStation 5 to be able to support pushing this headset, and it's not going to have to run standalone, which is really nice. You're going to have that extra beef to be able to really kind of see what VR graphics can be. Obviously 90 hertz, 120 hertz, this is really good. Field of view is about 110. It's higher than the Quest 2's, which is, again, it helps you just a little bit more of immersion. This headset has it all. It has 6 degrees of freedom tracking. It's going to have tactile sensors throughout the actual head strap, which I think is really nice. It is wired, so you're not going to be able to play wirelessly. I know for some people that's a kind of a deal breaker. I'm telling you, it's not as big as a deal as you think. The wire, you get over it, and just being able to be in the game is enough. But aside from that, the controllers look really nice. They use the same DualSense shock technology that the PlayStation controllers use, which are really nice controllers if you've ever used a gamepad or never used a PlayStation gamepad before, which if you're excited about this headset, you probably have, but they are really nice controllers. So I expect nothing but high quality out of Sony. And again, for this headset retailing at about, I think it's $550 off the top of my head. That's a pretty good price for what you're getting here. $550 for basically a PC VR headset. If you already have a PlayStation 5, that's a pretty good price, and you're going to be able to get some really high quality games. Sony will deliver on games, and it's going to set a standard for virtual reality games, because all the games that are going to come to that platform are likely going to be coming to MetaQuest as well. So it's going to help everybody out. I think the PlayStation VR 2 is a huge deal, and it's one of the biggest things to happen to VR for years. I think it's going to be a big success, and it's absolutely worth being in the S-Rank category. Well, guys, that is going to be it for today's video. I hope you guys found the headset that you were looking for, and whether or not I'm excited for it, and I think it's going to have any type of impact really on the gaming industry. I focus on the gaming side of things because that's what this channel is about. It's about gaming, VR gaming. I love gaming, and I'm excited about VR tech for sure, but I definitely want to see how that tech transitions into better video gaming experiences. So hopefully you guys got that question answered today. I do want to hear from you guys in the comment section. Did I overrank or underrank a headset? Please do let me know. Drop a like on this video, subscribe to my channel, and I will see you guys in the next one. Peace.